excited to be doing this today. For those who don't know me, my name is Tony Quintana. I'm the plant-based eating program manager with Animal Protection New Mexico. And my lovely co-host here is Mickey Quintana. She is, you want to say a little something about yourself?
I'm the main cook in the house, I guess. Yeah.
The brains behind the operation, basically.
Maybe.
So yeah, hopefully some of you were able to get your ingredients and you're ready to cook with us tonight. That would be extra fun if we can all cook together. So don't forget, if you have questions, if you have comments, ideas, put it in the chat box or use the Q&A. We're going to be monitoring that live as we're going through this live cooking demonstration. And so hopefully we can help everyone make some really good green chili chicken Alfredo pasta.
Yes.
It's a mouthful, but like Mickey said, it's a tasty mouthful.
It's a tasty mouthful, yes.
All right, so
I'll tilt this.
Yeah, Mickey's going to be kind of off and on camera, making sure that we got everything going well. And I'm going to be the main one doing the cooking right today or this evening, for better or for worse. So hopefully this goes well. All right, so without further ado, let's get into it. We're just going to go over the ingredients real quick. Like I said, hopefully you got everything that you need. We've got our fresh head of cauliflower here. The light is kind of bleaching it out a little bit, but maybe let's try turning off this one. That did not help at all. All right, trust me, that's cauliflower. If it's as bright as it is on my screen. We've got our lemon juice. We've got some hemp seeds. And these come in all different types of packaging, but they're basically just whole hemp seeds. We've got our fresh garlic. If you don't have fresh garlic or minced garlic on hand, we're doing the cheater way. We use the already minced one.
Powder works too.
I was just going to say, if you don't have that, you can use garlic powder to substitute. Thank you, Mickey. We've got some salt and some nutritional yeast. Today we're using the Bragg brand. This is kind of the most common one that's easy to find usually.
I found that one at Walmart.
Yeah, you can pretty much find it everywhere. We are using whole wheat penne pasta for our pasta base. Like I mentioned in the email, you can use any kind of pasta your heart desires. That's sort of the beauty of this recipe. And then for our green chili, we've got the Young Guns Hatch green chili. That's what we're going to be using today. Again, you can use fresh roasted from your backyard or canned or whatever kind of that you have. You can use that and make it happen. All right. Any questions before we get started? I don't see any. So first thing that we're going to do is we're going to prepare our cauliflower so that we can boil it, because we want to, this is the main base for the Alfredo sauce. So basically what we're going to do is make our Alfredo sauce. We're going to cook our pasta. We're going to cook our chicken. We're going to heat our green chili, and then we're going to throw it all together. And that's how we're going to make this green chili chicken Alfredo pasta. So first we're going to prepare the cauliflower. And like we're starting with a fresh head, like I said.
Sorry.
Oh, I just saw a really good question. Will you be sending instructions later? Absolutely. And I'm glad that you asked that question, because you reminded me that I have the recipe actually already on our website, and I'm going to paste the link for it in the chat box right now. So if you look at the chat box, I just posted a link to the recipe. So if you want to pull that up on your browser or download the PDF or however you want to do that, so you can look at that and reference that as we're doing this live, you can do that. Or if you just want to kind of have it in your back pocket for later, it's there for you as well. So I'm just kind of breaking off the, what do you call this? Stem?
Leaves? Stems? I don't know. They're very thick.
If you will. Yeah. We just kind of want to get those out of the way. If you've got a compost pile, this is a lovely place to put them. All right. And then taking the knife, we're going to just kind of cut the pieces of cauliflower off of here. If anyone has a life hack for this part of it, or how to get your cauliflower off the stem, please let us know. I'm sure it's somewhere on TikTok. We just haven't found it yet. But basically, we're just getting all of the cauliflower off of there. And with the magic of TV, it's going to disappear off of my counter. That might not happen for you. So apologies for that. And now we just want to kind of chop this up so it fits in our pot. There's no real method that it has to be done
Or
at.
size. There's not a specific size you're looking for either.
Correct. You just want it to all go into your pot. I'm using our smaller pot here because every other time I've done this, it fits perfectly. So hopefully that's the case tonight.
It's warm, sorry.
And if it's not fitting so well, you could just, I might just cut it a little bit smaller. And if you are cooking with us, we would love to know. Let us know in the chat or some other way. That you're doing it live with us. That would be really exciting. And we would like to know what kind of pasta you're using, any variations. Somebody had asked if they could use jackfruit instead of the chicken. And so we were thinking about that. And so we'd love to discuss, variations to the recipe.
Looks like somebody said, I'm not seeing the link to the recipe. Oh, hold on. I see the problem. It's listed as to everyone. So let me I didn't share it again.
Paste the link correctly. So Mickey's going to do that again.
Control C, right?
This one and see.
Yeah. Tony has a Mac. I'm not used to it. And then Command E to copy paste.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try this one. There you go. Now it says to everyone, so it should be up.
So hopefully that you can see it now that Mickey corrected my mistake. And this might be a little too full for our pan. I cut it kind of close, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Should I leave a little bit out?
No, let's go for it.
So I forgot to mention too that, just friendly reminder, we are live and direct in the kitchen. You know how that can go sometimes. So if we have some hiccups, some not super graceful camera movement, or things of that nature, we appreciate your patience and bearing with us. And we're also still sticking to the safest, COVID protocols that we can. So we're a crew of 2 in our home, and we've got the human children, the fur children, and everything else going on.
Yeah. So it looks like Selma asked, she said that she got the Gardein crispy tenders. And it's a good question with those. Are you supposed to keep that stuff frozen until you fry them, or if you're supposed to defrost a bit? And usually most of them will say on the packaging, like the Beyond Burgers, you need to defrost a bit. Those do need to defrost, but the Gardein, I believe you can just cook those up, and then I would cook them up and cut them however you think looks good in your pasta tonight. But yeah, most of the Gardein stuff is keep frozen until you do. I think it's the same with the Morningstar also.
Yeah, my sister used to always make that mistake of taking it out in the morning when we were going to cook dinner together, and I was like, oh, I hope it's still okay, because you're supposed to cook it from frozen.
Mm-hmm.
So good question. And I think that the crispy ones, that would be really good in this recipe, I think, because it'll add a crunch, and like a different texture than what we're gonna have.
Yeah, I think so too. It'll add a little something unique than what we're doing.
All right, thank you for the question, Selma, and for the wonderful comment. We appreciate that. All right, so now we've got our cauliflower in the pot. We've got water, and it's set to boil. So we want to bring it to a boil, and then let it boil for about 5 minutes. If it starts to boil over in the background, somebody put something in the chat so that
I'll watch too.
I might see that before I see my stove having issues. So if y'all could keep a watch on that. Not that you don't have your own things going on in your kitchen, but anyway, so now we're going to, now that we've got that on the stove, we're going to start working on the rest of the ingredients for the Alfredo sauce. So if you're really comfortable in the kitchen and you're one of those people that can do like multiple burners and things, you can multitask all of this recipe and have it on your table in like 20 minutes. If you're not, if you want to, if you like to focus one thing at a time, then you can definitely do that still. It'll just take you a little bit longer, but still not even that long at all, really.
Don't do the water last.
Oh, we're gonna do the water last.
Yeah. My
Okay.
suggestion is to do the water last because Tony's gonna put all the like spices and stuff in first, and it'll get kind of it'll create like a paste, which might be fine because we have a high-powered blender. But if you just have a regular blender, you might want to do like your dry ingredients first, and then when your cauliflower is done, add your cauliflower and the wet ingredients, just in case you need to like blend in batches or that paste sort of makes your blender get sticky.
Okay.
Just in case.
Good call, Mick. So somebody asked, where can you find hemp seeds? And I think you can pretty much find them anywhere. We've actually found them at like Walmart, definitely Sprouts, any like Whole Foods market or anything like that. They're pretty commonplace nowadays. You might just have to look in different sections, I think, right?
Yeah. So these hemp seeds, if you want to hold it up, I know you're using the recipe, but this brand, maybe go closer.
Camera where you can actually see it.
There you go. That one I actually got at Walmart, and it's in the spice section, like the baking section, flour, spices, sugar, oil. It was in there. And Walmart and most grocery stores have been expanding. I used to not really, let me try to get in here a little bit. I used to not really be able to find sort of hemp seeds and flax and almond flour and things like that in some of those like more like not specialty food stores or not like health food stores. And now more of them have them. So like Smith's, I think I found some of them at, and Walmart has a lot more. So it's more commonplace now.
Right.
And I forget what else. Oh, a ranch. I think I've seen a recipe that uses the hemp seeds for a ranch base as well. But I really like it with the Alfredo.
Cool. Thanks for breaking that down.
Sure.
And then while you were talking about that, I just put the garlic in there. You want about 4 cloves of garlic or about 4 teaspoons of garlic or however much your heart desires. You might have noticed that I was putting some heaping spoons in there. Worked out that Mickey was talking while I was doing that, so she could not comment on it.
Tony is a lover of garlic.
I am. All right, and then we're just adding I added the nutritional yeast. We're doing the hemp seeds now. And the hemp seeds are what's going to help give it the creamy texture of the Alfredo sauce, while adding lots of nutrients and not a whole lot of fat. Yes.
Do that liquid too now, or do you want to wait for that liquid also? I don't know if it
After
matters.
the cauliflower? Whatever. I don't know. I just throw it all in.
Okay.
That's what I would do personally. But we're gonna
whatever. You're the main host.
All right. Like I said, for better or for worse. I think I got all of our spices in there. How much lemon juice did we decide we wanted? About 1/4 of a cup. So we're gonna do 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. And I'm doing just a little bit less, actually. You can tweak it depending on your taste preference and the type of lemon juice that you use. We're gonna add the water. And then we're just gonna wait until our cauliflower is boiled and soft so that we can add it to that mix and add it all together. All right, so while that's going, we're really just waiting for the cauliflower to boil right now. So while we're waiting on that, we can multitask a little bit. We can get our pasta cooking. This is the easy part. You're just going to cook the pasta according to the package instructions. Or roughly. I'm not going to put as much water as the package says to put. So. But that's my business, like Miss Tabitha Brown says. If you're not a fan of her, recommend looking her up on Instagram.
She's hilarious.
Okay. Lots more water than that.
Take the box.
Again, my box disappears. All right, so we've got our pasta going now. And once that comes to a boil, I'm gonna set a timer because I always forget about that stuff too. And while that's going, the next thing we can do is heat up our green chili. If you're using frozen or canned green chili, you're gonna want to heat it up so that you're not putting cold green chili into your mix.
Sherry, we had a question. You don't bring the water to a boil first. We usually don't. I don't know if that's, our pasta comes out okay for us. I don't know if it's one of those like faux pas and you kind of shouldn't or whatever. But our pasta comes out fine. We throw it in the pot with the water, bring it to a boil, stir it every so often so pieces don't stick in the bottom. And then it's been working for us. We got to do things quick sometimes. So.
I was just gonna say, so like that you're seeing like the real life. This is how it goes in real life.
Yeah.
Because she's usually we're
get it on quick,
with kids, and we've got things going on, and so doing things the way that I've become accustomed to doing them. So you could typically people would bring the package. I just said cook it to the package instructions, and then I threw that out the window. Because it does say to bring it to a boil and then put your pasta in. But and also I'm not too worried about the pasta getting too sticky right now because we're gonna mix in the creamy sauce and all the other goodness, and we're not gonna even really know if it was sticking or not.
Sherry said, "Well, okay then. LOL. Thanks."
The last
you can try it if you don't like it and you want to, see if it's a shortcut for you too or not.
Yeah, because. Again, we're big fans of whatever's not absolutely necessary to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to want to do it. So I'm just going to heat up the green chili in the microwave. You can either do it in the microwave or on the stovetop, whatever you prefer. I like to do it in the microwave because it's quicker and easier. And whenever I'm doing that, I like to put some garlic powder and some salt in the chili. Again, however much your heart desires. And we don't like to use garlic salt. We like to use garlic powder and salt so that you can control how much salt you put in.
Yeah. And
I like a lot more garlic than salt. And it's better for us to keep our sodium a little bit lower anyway. Right? So that said, I'm going to pop this in the microwave.
And so we have a question. Was it a half cup of water in the blender?
Yes, it was a half cup of water.
A half cup.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. Clarifying that.
Your cauliflower's going.
Thanks for the. I just noticed that. Thank you for helping me stay on top of that. And it is pretty full, so I hope I don't make a mess. But
I'm gonna move this because you end up draining that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you kind of have a mess in your kitchen, you can feel good knowing we have a mess in ours too. All right, so we have all of this going. The last step is to cook the chicken, whatever chicken substitute you have. I'm gonna wait a little bit so I don't get ahead of myself and try to do two things at once.
Well, and here's the trick too, is once you start sort of getting everything going at the same time, you definitely want to watch that because sometimes the pasta, cauliflower, and chicken is all done at the same time. and then you've got this juggle going, and that could work. That could be fine because this chicken can just wait in the pan. You can dump the pasta real quick and then dump the cauliflower. But we're gonna take our time with you all tonight.
Yeah, we're not trying to.
Can you microwave the cauliflower? I would say yes, because I'll come forward so maybe you guys can hear me a little bit better, even if you can't see me. I would say yes, because I've done broccoli in the microwave. So maybe just, a little bit of water and some kind of sort of little lid off to the side a little bit so it does that steaming effect. And then just take it until you can stick a fork in it very easily, and then it should blend up really nicely that way.
Yep, I was just gonna say, yeah, the exact same thing, because you could steam it, you could microwave it, which is the same thing. You just want it to get soft so you can blend it up.
Yeah,
that's all we're doing. And I'm just enjoying the smell of the green chili. So don't mind me. All right.
Cauliflowers.
Any other questions? How funny that! I didn't even snap about the pasta. It's just something
that we do. I know. So we had somebody who had messaged us and asked if they can use jackfruit in place of the chicken, and I thought that sounded interesting. Was a good idea because so it'd be like a shredded chicken almost in it, and that sounded really interesting. And so I would say you would just drain the jackfruit, rinse it. Sometimes there's these little like bulby things in it. If you don't like those, take them out. And then just, saute it a little bit in some spices, maybe some poultry seasoning, garlic, a little bit of salt if you want that. And then just maybe if you can get it crispy, that might be good. But if you can't, I think that'll be fine. And then just set that aside and you can mix it in at the end, like with the strips that we're doing.
And a little boil over. Don't mind me.
It's because it's so full. It lasts. When we prepped the recipe for this, it was not that full. So I don't know if our head was a little was bigger, the cauliflower head, but that's all right.
Practice session went so good, and then it went to our heads. We got big heads. That joke. Okay.
It's that dad joke.
So, but yeah, it went really smooth in our practice run, and it's still gonna be delicious though. So that's all that's important. Yeah. So now we're just gonna wait a minute, right?
Yeah. So what are some other ways that you might be able to use the Alfredo sauce?
Good question.
I'll jibber jabber on that bit. One of my favorite, actually, besides this green chili chicken Alfredo, I always want to say enchiladas whenever I say green chili chicken. But yes, it does. So with the pasta, just Alfredo, one of my favorites actually is like red onion, red pepper, and broccoli, and you saute that up and you put that in the pasta with Alfredo sauce. I love that so much. It's delicious. And then you could probably use this sauce too if you wanted, like on like sandwiches, like a melt. You could probably use it as like a melt as well, like a white sauce melt. That could be good. So between the hemp seeds and the nutritional yeast, you get a really good cheesy flavor that's different than like our nacho cheese recipe.
One thing that I always think might be really good in this is roasted corn, fire roasted corn.
Yes.
Like from Trader Joe's. I think that
stuff is so good
thing to add. I also think just like cloves, like whole cloves of garlic roasted.
So yes, we do have a question. Is it 4 cups of cooked cauliflower? Yes. That's what we did in our practice run that ended up serving. We had leftovers. The 4 of us ate as much as we wanted, and then we had leftovers. So 4 to 6 people, 4 cups of cooked cauliflower did that. And that was about a medium head. I think this one, because like I said, in our practice run, the pot wasn't as full. It's our smallest pot. So this might be a little bit more, but it was roughly 4 cups.
Yeah, this is like a medium to large head. Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably about 4.5, 5 cups in there. But precision's not that.
It's really not. And because you can, in the blending process, we'll blend it and then we'll taste it, and you can add, if you're like, oh, I think I would like a little more garlic, you put a little bit more garlic. I think you can probably add more hemp seed. The lemon gives it sort of a little bit of a tang. And so the lemon is good if you want a little bit more of a tang, you can do that as well. A little more lemon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like with baking, it's like chemistry. You have to, it is a science. You have to get it just right. Baking is more of a science. Cooking is more of an art. You don't have to get the exact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think once you do a recipe a couple of times, then you start to tweak it and make it more your own. And so a lot of our stuff, with the intention of it being quick and easy, is not only so you have good food on your table quick and easy, and if you don't have all that much time, don't want to be in the kitchen a lot, but it's to get you comfortable in the kitchen too. That's the nice thing about easier recipes.
Right.
Get that experience and confidence.
Yeah. And just another fun fact about the recipe is, a lot of Alfredo sauces use oil or like a concentrated source of fat to give you the creamy texture and flavor. And so we're huge fans of this recipe also because we're using cauliflower to help get that creamy texture. And as you can see the ingredients, so it's a lot lower fat than most Alfredo sauces, in addition to being plant-based. But we're using, a little bit more whole ingredients, a little bit more whole foods in the ingredients list. So that's another, bonus for the recipe.
It's hot in the kitchen.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. Thank you.
We usually have a fan going because it's kind of a small space, and so it gets pretty warm. But to keep down on the noise, we don't have a fan.
Yeah. So. All right. This has been boiling for almost 5 minutes now. Let's see if it's. Again, we just want it soft, and I think it's pretty soft. I think we're good to go.
Yeah, that looks good.
See, I can easily stick my fork in it, and that's how you know that it's good enough.
That's good.
So, good timing because I was out of fun facts. So, we're gonna take our colander or strainer, and we're gonna drain the cauliflower out. Otherwise, that would be too much water. Oh, I think my pasta is
getting started.
I'm going to set a timer to check it so I don't forget. Because I'm the person that forgets about it forever until it's like. Oh, it wasn't. I thought it was.
Tilt it.
All right. And then so we've drained the cauliflower. We're just going to add it to the blender. Almost did it. Then is the easy part where you just blend it up. I'm gonna go ahead and put us on mute while we use the blender, just so we don't kind of blast your ears with the sound of the blender. All right. And somebody said, don't forget the chilies. I would never in my life forget the chilies. I don't want to add them to the blender right now because I uh, don't want them to get all like pureed in it. If you want to do that, you can, and it would be just like a green chili flavored Alfredo in and of itself. You could totally do that if you want to do that. Um, we like to like fold them in at the end so that you still have the chunks of chili, and that's just our preference. So in your kitchen, you do your thing.
Yes.
So we've got it. It's really creamy. We're gonna give it a taste, see what we think. If we need to add anything, make sure our texture is good. What do you
You
think?
wanna taste it?
No, I'm just gonna do that bit.
Ooh, I like that one.
Came out good this
Yeah,
time.
that came out really good.
All right.
Yeah. So, and the other thing with adding your green chili at the end is then if you have different amounts of levels of spiciness that people in your household can handle, then people like their stuff really spicy, they can add a lot more green chili after. And so that way, anybody else who can't handle as much, it's still good for them. So that's mostly why we do it at the end, because in our household we have a variety of chili spiciness preferences.
Yeah, good call. So we will add some of this green chili to the whole thing, and then I'll go ahead and add more to my bowl afterward when it's time to eat. So, all right. So now that we've got that done, we're ready to prepare our chicken. And we've got, oh, look at that, exactly where I need it to be. Love when that happens. We're using Morningstar Farms chicken strips. This is our favorite kind to use with this meal. And like we were saying earlier, we cook them from frozen. And so frozen, they just come out and they look just, they're just strips of
Sorry, that light's not working.
plant-based chicken goodness. Yeah, sorry the light's not the best. I'm just going to use a little bit of oil in my pan. That's optional if you've got a good non-stick situation.
Ours is finicky.
It's hit or miss. And so we just want to do it according to the package instructions. Or not.
Or not.
As you just seen me do. I never read the instructions, I just do it. But for the sake of being educational tonight, you cook over medium heat, stirring occasionally. That's literally all it says. Oh, there's heating times. 7 to 8 minutes. 7.5 to 8 minutes.
Listen to this suggestion we got. Try the impossible breakfast sausage with whole wheat fettuccine, sauteed zucchini and mushrooms with the cauliflower Alfredo.
Oh.
Ooh, yes.
Oh my God. We just tried the impossible breakfast sausage for the first time.
Yes.
Recently. And I was blown away, and I was
so good.
Thinking like, why haven't we tried this a lot sooner? That is a really
Thank you for that suggestion. Yes. Keep our eye out for that breakfast sausage
in the store.
I think I've seen it. We hadn't tried it yet. And then we tried it recently. Yeah.
All right, so we're just gonna, just like the package says, heat that over medium heat for about 7 minutes or so. I feel like it's usually done a little bit sooner than that. And the other thing I like to do is, as the chicken cooks, I like to break it up into a little bit smaller pieces. It's totally your preference. If you like bigger chunks in your pasta, you can stick with that, or you can make it a lot smaller. You could do it as like super small, so it's more of like shredded chicken if you want that texture and consistency. It's whatever you want to make it.
For the Morningstar one, the one that we're using, I like to do them in thirds in some recipes, but then with the pasta, I think like halves.
It's good.
Yeah.
So you get a significant peace in your life.
Yes,
if you
yeah.
will.
Somebody said the only vegan chicken they could find was scallopini. Ooh. Oh, are those like those little scallopini? Is it the Gardein scallopini cutlets, like a grilled chicken breast type of thing? Is that the one you found? Because those are really delicious too. And I bet that would be good in here. Yes, those are good. I like that one a lot too.
That's gonna be great.
I do that sometimes, so I must have grown up a lot with having like chicken and mashed potatoes and a vegetable, because I use the scallopini, the Gardein scallopini, and then the like little turkey cutlet with gravy on it when I like want that sort of comfort food, and it hits the spot every time. I think that's going to be good in there.
Mm-hmm. We're gonna have to try all these variations.
Mm-hmm. Now I'll move this. I'm gonna drain the pasta real quick.
Mm-hmm. Glad I set the timer because the pasta is totally done. And so we're just gonna drain it. And see, it came out really good. So not sure what would have been different. Huh?
So warm.
It is very warm in here. All right, so our pot is not quite big enough to assemble everything in it. So we've got our mixing bowl here. We're just gonna put the pasta in the mixing bowl. And give the chicken a little stir. It's starting to brown up a little bit, nice and crispy, which is what we want. I'm going to cut it, and once it starts to cook, you can see it's easy to cut in half. I'm just using this wooden spatula, and you can just cut on through it all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mickey said, I'm doing it about in half or so.
And you don't have to. We just like the ratio. We like the ratio of that size piece of chicken to pasta.
All right. Do you think these look good? Got them all?
Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. I like when they get the little brown crispy bits on them. I like that.
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. I bet you that crispy one's gonna be extra good.
Yeah. That like with the breaded, that's a good one too.
Yeah. All right. So now those are just about done. So we're gonna put them, leave them in the hot pan, but sort of turn it off. And now we just assemble.
Okay, hold on, let me tilt down. Because that I think is really helpful. Yeah, you can come here maybe. Right there?
Yeah.
That looks good, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we're just gonna add our Alfredo sauce. And typically we use the whole batch of sauce. This ratio usually ends up working really well with this much pasta, this much sauce, etc. It works well for our family of 4. The kids are kind of hit or miss. Sometimes they eat like more food than you can imagine, and sometimes not so much. So like we said, it serves 4 to 6, depending on how hungry people are or aren't. But I went a little slow just in case it was a little bit much. What do you think? Does that look? You want a little bit more sauce, or does that look good?
Maybe let's have the other stuff and then see.
That's
then
why
as
she's the brains.
Because as you start adding the other stuff, and the sauce gets spread over more area or real estate, then you can see where you're at with that. So 2 questions. Will the recording be sent out?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I believe this will also go up on the YouTube channel as well. And so you'll probably get that link specifically. And then somebody else said that we mentioned the Gardein cutlets and they can't find them anymore. Where do you get them? You know, it's so tricky. I go to a couple different stores in town, and it really just depends on what those stores are getting sent. And you know, I've seen them at Walmart, Sprouts, Whole Foods. I don't go to natural grocers too much. Certain Smiths have a bigger like selection of faux meats than I would expect. So just, you know, check out different stores than you normally do in your area. So if, you know, maybe you might need to go a little bit further, but if you're down for it and you're looking for them, that might be the way to go.
So hopefully, I don't know if you can see, but we've got some of the like brown crispies on the chicken. That's the good stuff. That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
And I totally eyeballed the green chili. We might want a little bit more, but I always go light and then add more. Can always add, but you can never take away.
That's what my mom always said. And so when Tony and I started cooking together, I got drilled in, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another question again was about using jackfruit or soy curls. Mm-hmm. And so we talked a little bit earlier about the jackfruit, and we do think that would be a really good substitution for the chicken. And I think Tony found like a very simple recipe that we can also send out when we send the link for the recording. You know, you basically just prepare the jackfruit, drain it, rinse it, saute it with spices. I suggested poultry seasoning and garlic and maybe a little bit of salt. And then as far as the soy curls, I think that could work very well also. We haven't done a lot with soy curls. We really need to rectify that because soy curls come up as an option quite a bit. So we'll get on that. But I do think soy curls would work also.
Yeah.
Same thing, same seasonings too. Poultry seasoning to give you that sort of chicken reminder flavor, you know?
Yeah. And then the other thing is that you could use is the texturized vegetable protein, TVP.
Yes.
And we've used that a couple times. What I would recommend is, because it's, you know, it's dehydrated, and so you hydrate it and then you cook with it. I would hydrate it in like a vegetable broth, or if you can get the better than bouillon, there's a vegan chicken version.
Oh yes.
And you can use that. Or there's one at Sprouts called Edwards and Sons chicken, vegan chicken base. And you can hydrate it with that, so it gives it that chicken flavor. And then I would saute it to get it that crispy texture, and that would work just as good. All right, so we've got it all done here. Do you want to give it a taste and see if we need more green chili? Do you want me to just put more green chili?
I think you can put more green chili.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's kind of hidden. I like it where you like again with the ratio, and we eyeball that. Yeah, it's a visual check.
It's a visual thing. So this is what I'll take my bowl and add more on top, so my bowl will look like that, you know. The way it looks right now, that's how my
or more.
But everyone has their own preferences. And so, like we said too, yeah, we like to see the chili.
Yeah.
In there, right?
Yes.
But that's looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, that's looking good.
And then we can add more to our bowls as we want to.
Okay. You gonna taste test?
Oh yeah, I thought I had a fork. I did have a fork out, but I don't know where it went. So.
I'm sorry, I think I just cleared it.
All right, taste test time. And who else was cooking? Somebody asked, do you use Hatch green chilies? Yes, always and whenever possible. We use Hatch green chilies. The one we used today was the Young Guns brand. It's from Hatch, New Mexico.
And it has the, sorry, trying to find it.
The New Mexico True.
Yes, it's all like over here. It's like backwards for me. If it will focus.
New Mexico certified.
Yeah, it's got the little New Mexico certified thing. And they also have hot. I did find hot at the grocery store recently. So, yep. All right.
So and then somebody asked, have you ever used green chili powder or jalapeno powder? Not in this recipe. I'm sure it would be good though.
Yeah.
I'd give it a try.
Yeah.
Especially if that's all you have on hand or all you can find in the store.
Mm-hmm.
I would totally do that.
And you might be able to add that to your Alfredo mix if you want your sauce to just to have that flavor.
Mm-hmm. I could see that being good. Here's the taste test. Mm-hmm. Super good.
Tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I think so. If you notice with
more chili, but yeah.
Yeah. So the sauce is kind of thick still, and it stays sort of attached to the pasta. And I like that personally. I like when it's thick and attached to the pasta like that. Sorry. It comes out a little bit, so it's hard to get us both. But you can make it creamier, even more creamy and liquidy by changing the amount of liquid in it. You can add a little bit of water. Tony, the last time in our practice batch, he did the green chili juice that was left in our container from warming it up. And that juice, and he just put it in his bowl and mixed it around, and it made it a little thinner, but and so it was different.
But I liked it.
Yeah.
It was different in a good way for me.
Yeah, it was
That's
different
probably
in a
what
good
I'm
way.
gonna do again now.
Yes. Tasty. So all right. And then
somebody said the Gardein crispy tenders in this are delicious. I'm guessing you cooked it and you're trying it right now. So thanks for sharing that. We're totally gonna try that. The Alfredo sauce is so good. Keeping the Alfredo sauce plain, so the 3-year-old can have some too. That's another good idea too. You can do it separately and just add your chili or whatever spice to your individual servings. So if you have little ones who don't really like chili or can't do too much spice, that's how you can make it good for everyone in the family.
Yeah. Another tip that I like to cut the corners, because y'all know us by now, we like to cut the corners, is usually in the produce section where you can sort of find cut broccoli already in the bags. They also have cut cauliflower already. And the smaller bags is about 2 cups, or was it 4 cups? Because we said a bag could work. Yeah. So but basically you don't have to buy a whole head and do all that chopping. You can just open a bag and dump your cauliflower in. So that one's there for you too.
All right. So real quick before we sign off, if anyone has more questions or comments, let us know. If you cooked it, let us know how it came out. If you want to share. And real quick before we sign off, Mick, tell them a little bit about the bread you made to go as a side.
Yes, I was going to show it actually.
I mean, that's what I meant.
The other thing I was going to ask is if you cooked with us tonight or whenever you cook this, we would love to see, send us a picture of your plate with it. That would be really awesome to put together a little collage and share. That would be great. Yes, so anyway, I made a garlic bread because I am, pasta and bread is my thing. So let's see if I can hold it up. Do it this way. And can you tilt it down a little bit? So yeah, that's our garlic bread. Sorry, It's not really focusing. There it goes. And basically, I just get a loaf of French bread from the like bakery section of a store, and I cut it in half, and I put a vegan butter down, and I put garlic powder, salt. Again, we don't do garlic salt because we like controlling those two flavors, and then some parsley. And then you just bake it, and I do, 350, 375, whatever, for however long until you get the goldenness that you want.
All right, so I think that's it. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and log off. Thank you all so much. It was really fun doing this. We enjoyed the questions, the commentary. We're gonna try all of the variations, and we would love to see your pictures, like Mickey said. Please send us pictures. That would be really great. We love to see how people make it their own and do it differently.
Yeah.